Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
We really have to change the bumper music, Robin.
I think so.
So many people make fun of it on YouTube. You just, what is this? X-Files? Everyone makes fun of our music. All right, we have an amazing theater in Ocala. The Ocala Civic Theater is very reliable in bringing us some really great presentations. Chris Jorie is one of those directors that it's kind of like in the movies, when you recognize the director of a movie you've liked before. Same thing happens here, and Chris is in the studio today to talk to us about a play that he has directed over at the Civic Theater called First Date. Robin, do you remember any first dates you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Why? How come girls always have these bad memories? It's the guys. We never did. It's like first date, great. What happened to the second one? I don't know. Just you're in control, ladies. So we're going to talk about this. James Ray Taylor III is in the studio. He plays Aaron in the play, and Megan, what is it? Wager. And your mommy's outside?
Yes.
Hey, mom.
Is outside.
Where's she? Where's mom? And you play Casey. So good morning to everybody. Thank you for coming in. You guys are a part of such an amazing group over at the Ocala Civic Theater. Thank you for doing that. I know you don't get paid to do that, so thank you. But it's just, you guys do such a wonderful thing for all of the rest of us who enjoy it. And the theater's so beautiful. How's Mary, by the way? Mary Britt? How's she doing?
Mary's doing well. She's can-do Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hanging in there.
So good to see you.
Yes, you too.
So where does this play come from? First Date. I don't know that I've heard of it.
Well, First Date premiered on Broadway in 2013 at the Longacre Theater, and it actually is based on a real-life experience of how a couple met, a book by Austin Wilson, music by Alan Zachary and Michael Weiner. And so, there was a bunch of people who came together and had this story about their first dates and a particular first date, and they created this musical. So, it premiered on Broadway in 2013 with Zachary Levi, ran for about a year.
So are we watching somebody on their first date? Is that what's happening here?
We are watching a couple on their first date. Yes, we are.
I heard, and I don't know if this is accurate, but I heard that the voices of their past are also part of the story? Yes? Yes?
No, they are.
There's some interesting characters. There's some grandmothers, some dads, some exes from the past.
So that makes it fun.
Yes. Quite a fun story.
So it's a funny story? Is it a comedy?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a musical?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, it's a comedy musical?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah.
It has some poignancy, but it really is an entertainment.
Did you relate to any of it?
I have to be honest, when I first read it, I thought it was clever, but I read it through a 64-year-old person's eyes, and I went, I don't know. And then I heard these people read it, and a flood of memories of being 20-something in New York and going out on dates, and all of that came back as clear as a bell. And as soon as we started the process with the young ensemble, I have ages, I think, 19 through about 40, but I think the median age is probably in the mid-20s, and I just thought, oh, I remember all this. Wasn't that fun?
Wait a minute, what year does the show take place?
It's modern.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right now.
Present time.
It's
Yeah.
right now. Okay, so right now, if you were dating in New York, everybody knows that scene. There's cabs and Ubers and everything. You don't really need a car anymore, right?
Right.
Well, this is a blind date.
Yes.
This is a
Oh,
blind.
it's a blind
So you
date.
don't know each other. Are you the couple, the two of you?
Yes.
Oh, you are the couple. Oh my gosh. So did it having worked? This is a dumb question, isn't it? Because this is the non-actor asking a question that's probably stupid. But
No.
do you, because you know each other, was it more of a challenge? Would it have been easier if you didn't know each other?
I don't know. At first, I was very scared to work with you because I didn't want you to judge my acting and think I was terrible.
Whatever.
But once we really got into the hang of it, it just kind of came pretty naturally, for me at least.
Yeah. I feel like it was very much our friendship, our relationship, except kind of mismatched, where suddenly become the awkward person, and she's definitely.
That's
way
always
more
the man's
confident.
job at a first date. It's always the man's job to be awkward, right?
We heard that there's strong profanity in here also. Does that add to the story, or?
Well, I think it is an appropriate caution for people who might want to buy the ticket. But honestly, I directed proof at Ocala Civic based on the Broadway play that became a film. It's got to be 15, 16 years ago, and there's much more profanity in that play. And I remember people bringing their adolescents to that story because it's such a compelling story. I honestly don't find the profanity anything more than what I hear in the high school yard when you walk through, or what you'd get. I have grandsons now, and I hear this stuff from kids, but these people in the play are in their 20s. So I think it is the way, it's nothing gratuitous, or it's just part of the way people speak, particularly in New York.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, particularly in New York. I have to tell you a quick anecdote. After 9/11, I went to the city and I visited the site, and the city had changed. And one of the things that was remarkable is that everybody was being kind and courteous. And then I was crossing in a crosswalk down by Port Authority, and a cabbie almost cut me off. And I looked at him, and he gave me the finger, and I went, "Oh, thank God! Some of New York that I remember is still intact."
That guy's not from New York, by the way. The cabbies are not from New York. All right, so, oh my gosh, I have a question for you as a director. I was listening to an interview with Ellen DeGeneres. And she had, I guess, her beginning. She was an actress in a TV sitcom or something, and her role was to be a bitchy woman. Okay, and she just couldn't do that. She wasn't as good of an actress as they wanted her to be. So her character became, because of her, in her words, her lack of acting skills, became more of a dopey character than a bitchy character. And the director said, "Yeah, let's go with that." Does that ever happen for you? Do you ever work with an actor or an actress and they actually are really good at it, but it's not what you envisioned?
Well, all this stuff about vision, for me, it's always been a collaboration. I come into the room with
That's a good approach, though, isn't it?
Well, it's the only way I know how to do it. I think there are different circumstances. When I have a longer rehearsal period like I have here at OCT, I can take the time to really explore the story. And I really ask them. I ask the actors to bring their creativity to the floor. I want to see what their impulses are, and it's, different people have different ways of doing it, but I'm really not the kind of person who tells you where to go and what to do unless I have to. If I'm on a dinner theater contract and I have to do My Fair Lady in 10 days, you better believe that the first day we do everything. You go here, you go here.
Why do we have dinner theaters in Ocala? We need at least one somewhere.
We should.
Didn't we have one at one time?
I couldn't answer.
We had when there was a Six Gun Territory at the Palace
that's
Saloon.
right.
There was a dinner
That's
theater,
right.
and they brought in some shows and things. It was really nice.
Didn't the college do it for a while too?
The Weber Center, at the college. They had Sylvia was one of them, and they had a dinner theater there too. But now it's kind of fallen by the wayside, which is kind of sad.
Megan, do you have to say curse words in the play?
I do. I say.
Is she gonna be in the audience?
My mom will be in the audience, and I'm sure she won't mind me cursing.
Are you familiar with Mrs. Maisel, the show that's on, whatever that's on now, Amazon?
Amazon.
No, I don't.
Well, she's a stand-up comedian, and she freezes when she sees her dad in the audience. Because she's telling all these very, very colorful stories, and all of a sudden there he is, and So
I love finding my family and friends in the audience.
You know what's so sweet? When you go to the Ocala Civic Theater and somebody's waiting in the audience with flowers, you just know somebody on that stage is going to get flowers at the end of the show, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that sweet?
It's actually kind of sad. A lot of people don't stay as often as I would like. People tend to see the end of the show and then they just kind of leave. And so, we'll get out of costume, we'll walk out there, and it'll be just an empty lobby. Oh, okay, well. Never mind.
Wow, I didn't know that. I mean, I've always wanted to meet you guys, but I didn't know that you wanted to meet us.
Oh yeah, if you wait like 5 minutes longer than you expect for us to get out of costume,
All
we'll
right,
be out there.
well, let's spread that word, because I think I'm not alone. I'm one of the guys who leaves because I wanted to meet these guys, but they're not here.
Yeah.
So it takes a little while to change your clothes, huh?
It sure does. Depending on your costume piece, sometimes it can take quite a while. Plus, you have to take off your mic as well. Like if you're wearing a wig, I don't think anyone's wearing a wig for the show.
And it
per se.
is easier to get out of the parking lot if you wait a little bit, which is why everybody's rushing to get out the door anyway.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
I have a question about experience. When you have people who are trying out for a role, and they've already established themselves as James and Megan have, do they get like a bump up in your mind, like, oh gosh, these are going to be good, or like if I walked in, you'd probably, oh geez, look at this guy. But you know what I mean? I mean, if you like a star, like if Jack Nicholson or something is applying for a part, you might give him a special attention or something.
Well, first of all, Jack Nicholson doesn't apply for parts. He just gets offered parts, or at least he did. People of that stature, they literally, it's part of your
comes
deal.
to them?
You have to be approved by them to get the job, actually,
okay.
as the director. That's how that goes. But here, I mean, I always, first and foremost, you have to find the right actor for the part. You know, so that's the most important thing. I had worked with James before, so in The Giver, so I had a sense of him. And
that was a good one too, by the way.
Yeah, that was a good play.
Yeah.
And Megan just came in and nailed it. I mean, she, you know, they're both very, very talented people. So I really lucked out. I have 7 of the most talented actors I've worked with in 20 plus years at Ocala Civic Theater here in this production.
And we noticed that a few of the actors are playing different roles.
Yes.
Dion Howard.
The ensemble, some of them play up to 5 parts apiece. So, yeah. It's
By the
really
way,
fun.
Dion looks like the guy who is Hamilton in the Hamilton play.
Oh, Lin-Manuel?
Yes.
Yes, he
Do you
does.
think that when you see him?
There certainly is a resemblance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the same guy's in the new Mary Poppins too.
Jack?
Yes.
He looks like
And I
Jack.
said to Robert, look, that's Dion up there. So when you do the Mary Poppins sequel thing on the stage,
Yeah.
how long will that take? About 10 years?
Oh, yeah, at least. Megan will be playing Mary at that time.
James, when you were trying out for the roles, it's different in The Giver and this play because you also have singing now. Even in Born Yesterday, you have to sing and act. Is that difficult to go from role to role like that?
Well, not necessarily. I was really nervous about trying to audition for a comedic type show just because I feel like a lot of my, a lot of my jokes are really just, funny one-liners here and there. But I don't generally consider myself a funny person. Thankfully, the show is written well for my character. But in comparison to like The Giver, when I was like killing off babies and stuff,
Right.
yeah, it's definitely a little different. But no, I don't think going from show to show, different types of characters is really all that difficult. You just gotta put yourself in the character's shoes and try to figure out what they would be doing.
And this one is singing too, so you had to also audition not just for the drama part or the comedic part, but for the singer as well.
Right, yeah. Which was kind of interesting, only because doing more of a modern musical. I don't listen to a lot of modern shows, so I was trying to base my audition off older songs that I know. I'm like, well, this can't work because this isn't even in the style that they want. But thankfully, I had worked with Shane Bass in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, also with Megan, and so he kind of knew what my style was and gave me some pointers that way. So that was really good for me.
That's great. I bet you were happy, Chris,
Oh, I'm thrilled.
with all the people that tried out.
Well, yes, and Shane, our musical director, Bass Delgado, I worked with years ago in Big Bang, and he was just a kid. And he's just really become an accomplished musical director. We have a terrific orchestra that sounds like a band of 20, and I think there are like 9 of them or something. They're amazing. Talk about multiple reeds and keyboards. It's really we're adding our elements now. You know, the music, the sound, the lights, and that's always a very exciting point in the process.
The sense we get as consumers or whatever we are, audience members, is that everybody has done an amazing job. From, I mean, the people you don't see. I mean, if you're looking at scenery, somebody built that, and you guys are unbelievable with that stuff. I think it was Joseph, that staircase, right? There was a long. I was like, oh my gosh, they built a staircase that actually works.
Pulls apart, almost kills Megan every night. Yeah, it sure did.
True.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you ever come over and visited during the day and seen the hive of volunteers that build those sets?
I have not, no.
It's amazing. You have to. You should come when they're building She Loves Me, which is the next show up, and see the dozens and dozens of men and women and young people behind the scenes actually putting that set together under the direction of our technical director, David Berardi. It's just really fascinating. And it gives you a sense of how important this theater is in the community, that people are really, really willing to give their time. They want to participate on whatever level that they feel that they can offer help. It's really wonderful.
And do you have shows that overlap? Like, are you building a set for one show as one show is being performed?
You could talk to our tech team, talk about that with our tech team right now. Because they have, literally, we open on the 10th, and She Loves Me comes in right after that. So they're already in rehearsal while we're opening.
Oh, okay. So has there ever been a time, Megan or James, where you've been in a show and then there's another show that has open auditions that you've, found time to do both?
Yeah.
I've done 2 shows at once. I was in Mamma Mia, and I also auditioned for the education show, Be More Chill. Got cast in that, so I was on stage doing Mamma Mia while rehearsing for Be More Chill.
Oh, my gosh.
Does that make it more of a challenge if you've got 2 things that you've got to be on top, especially if they're not the same type of a character?
Right. Well, it's definitely more work, but I love it. I love being on stage.
What you like doing, right?
So, yes. I love doing it.
Did I ask you, or James, did I ask you guys about yourselves? Can we get a little personal with you?
Sure.
Okay. Megan, and I might have asked you this last time, so forgive me. Where were you born? Here?
I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida.
In St. Petersburg. And when did you come to Ocala?
We came here when I was 6. I think 2004 we moved to Ocala.
Oh, okay,
maybe.
okay. So pretty much your whole life you've been here, right?
Essentially, yes.
And do you remember the first time you went to the Civic Theater?
I remember the very first show I remember, I think, was Clue.
Okay.
That's the first one I saw. And
was it a special night out? Like you got all dressed up and
it was actually a student night, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Robin likes when people dress up for the theater. It's Robin.
I do.
It's
I
nice
do.
place to do.
It's very disappointing when I see people come in shorts and flip flops. I like to be dressed up for the theater. It's a very special event, especially at the Ocala Civic Theater.
Actually, I remember you both showed up for The Giver. You were dressed.
I know I was. When I was a kid, I had there was a lady in my neighborhood who had friends. I don't know if you know the Westbury Music Fair. Does that ring a bell for anybody?
I do.
So I had the neighbor had friends with Westbury Music Fair. Anyway, so she got tickets, and I remember going. It was such a big deal, and you got to meet the actors afterwards. And gosh, it felt like you were meeting, famous people, and I think they were actually famous, but what do I know? Yeah. I don't know. It was just fun to do that.
And Chris, how do you balance your schedule? Because you're working with some heavy hitters in feature films, yet you are able to take the time to be the director in our community.
Well, I love coming back here, and like I said, I've been doing it for 20 plus years. I can remember very clearly the day I sat with Mary Britt in the back of the house and interviewed as a freelance director all those years back. And we just hit it off, and my first 2 shows were La Mancha and My Three Angels back to back. And I really, really enjoyed the community. I honestly feel it as fulfilling. I remember I was running one day while I was doing La Mancha before rehearsal, and the show was going really well, and we were about to open. I remember saying, to myself, it doesn't matter where I am, as long as I'm fulfilled in the process with the people that I'm working with, I'm completely happy. So that's how I do it.
Let me ask you about that statement. Is that statement because a lot of people in Ocala say, oh my gosh, it's just Ocala? But you're right. The exact same experience would happen if you were directing in New York or Chicago.
Well, the truth is, Larry, I have had productions. The production value of Ocala Civic Theater is so high that I've done productions at this theater that I find are of a higher standard than some of the professional theaters that I worked at. So that's just the truth. And I think anybody, I was talking with one of our other fine directors who you may have spoken to in the past, Katrina Plouffe, and we were both talking about community theater has become sort of a very special thing now. There was a day in America where there was a golden age and every town had a civic theater. That's not true anymore. So the fact that you do have one here that's still in town, that's still thriving, that people really want to come out and participate in is really a gift. It's a great gift.
I think there's a sense of the arts in general in Ocala that I'm really happy to see because it just makes everything brighter and more colorful. It's just, whether it's art as you normally think of art, paintings, and like tonight, the first Friday art walk, it's an amazing thing to be part of that and to see all the talent that's around you. And what you do is art. I mean, obviously, it's the theatrical art. James, I know you speak French, right?
Yes.
What
yes,
were you born in France? I can't remember now.
Yep. Born in Paris.
Born in Paris. And I probably asked you this before. Do you get back much?
I was back this past summer, so the summer of last year, 2018.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yep. Wasn't there for too long, just because I had to work, have to pay bills, stuff like that.
But the French comes back to you, no problem. The language,
no problem at all. Yeah.
That's amazing to me. I wish I could do that. Can you speak 2 languages, Megan?
I cannot. No.
I can speak Pig Latin. Can you, Chris? Can you?
I understand Italian and can speak some because I was raised with it, and I did study French for 3 years, and recently was asked to prepare to be able to improvise for a film in French, which was absolutely terrifying because it's one thing to memorize a line in French, but another thing to think in French. So luckily I didn't have to improvise.
Well, you have a coach right to your right. You got to ask him.
I know, but he wasn't. He was here, and I was there, and what can you do?
Megan, such a wonderful stage presence, especially in Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I mean, you were there for the whole thing. You've got a wonderful voice. You've got great inflections and beautiful acting and facial expressions. And James, when you were doing your different plays, Born Yesterday and The Giver, I mean, gosh, you really transcend from one role to the next, and you're very believable in what you do, and I think that's very, very special, especially since you have Chris to work with.
That's the key, I mean, that's what you look for. You look for people who you can trust to make believe and make it seem like it's the truth.
And you don't allow your personal life to overlap because you both seem to really be immersed in each of the roles. I mean, you're very believable.
Yeah, thank you.
I agree.
You're welcome.
See, Robin is, when I sit next to Robin when we go to the theater, I'm a pain because I ask all kinds of She knows everybody on the stage. She knows everybody behind the scene, knows everybody. I walk there and say, hey, Robin, hey, Robin, hey, Robin, hey, Robin. Hey, who's that guy?
Well, the Civic Theater is really, really wonderful because it started out in that tiny building that's no longer there on the boulevard. And then it grew into this building, and now it seems it's starting to overgrow this building. Are there any plans to make an addition?
Yes, there's been discussion about that over the years, and I'm sure that will happen in the future because they will, ultimately outgrow where they are now.
First date is live on stage at the Ocala Civic Theater, January 10th through the 20th, and you can get your tickets at the box office. And what do we do? Give a phone number?
Yes, 352-236-2274, and get them. They are going fast. I heard that Saturday night is almost gone.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we are giving tickets away, too. So if anybody would like a pair of tickets today,
Right now?
please dial 622-9622,
Okay, so
and
you
we'll
gotta
take your name
call us
after
right now.
we get off the air.
Yeah, it'll be off there because we're right there right now. Thank you all for coming in here. Thank you for what you're doing for us. You make our town so much better by having these wonderful shows. I know. You don't think so, but I love it. It's a magical night for me. Like, I think I may have told you this last time that I kind of never went until maybe a year ago or so. And Robin said, "Why don't you go?" And there was a show she went to with her mom. I can't remember what it was now. Was it Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
And I said, or Shrek, one of them. I said, oh, okay.
Oh, Shrek was the first.
Yeah. And I said, okay, I'll go. I said, oh my gosh, I love this. so I was hooked right away. First date. I'm looking forward to this one. So I'll be waving at you. I'll wait 5 extra minutes.
Oh, good.
In the lobby. All right.
Good.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you all. Thank you for coming in. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
On this Friday, some intervals of clouds and sunshine and remaining warm. It'll become breezy this afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm later on. Highs ranging from 76 in the northernmost part of the zone to 86 in the south. It'll be mostly cloudy Friday night with a brief shower or two, mainly early, lows generally in the 50s by morning. Tomorrow will be a cooler day as clouds give way to increasing sunshine. The high 66 in the northern part of the zone, 72 in the south. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
And now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Buying and selling? Then you know about OcalaForSale.com, Marion County's internet marketplace. But there's something you might not know. I'm Michael Warren, president of USA for Sale. We created Ocala for Sale in 1998 with a passion to connect buyers and sellers and to help local businesses reach shoppers online. On Ocala for Sale, you're just a click away from thousands of deals for real estate, rentals, cars, furniture, appliances, horses, pets, and more. Looking for a job? Our Help Wanted section is booming. Shopping the villages and beyond? Now you'll find great deals on villages for sale, as well as our new statewide classified, Florida for Sale. Log on today and post your free classified. You'll reach thousands of shoppers who check our listings every day. Are you a business looking to get a corner on the internet marketplace? USA for Sale can help you reach your target audience in Ocala, the villages, and statewide. There's no better place to reach shoppers than right where they shop. Let us show you how. Learn more by calling 352-629-1663 or visit us online at usaforsale.com.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. At least 7 people are dead and 7 others injured after a fiery crash on I-75 north of Gainesville. 2 tractor-trailer rigs and 2 passenger vehicles were involved in the crash. A head-on collision claimed the life of a 47-year-old woman and seriously injured a 34-year-old man on South US 301 in Summerfield last night. Legislation filed by a Florida state senator would make smoking tobacco on public beaches illegal in Florida. Only 4 out of 41 railway systems in the United States successfully